Hi everyone, welcome to EduKaji. I'm Cikgu Gan, your biology teacher. Today we'll be discussing Selangor State Trial Paper 2022, Set 2, Paper 1. Alright, let's begin. Diagram 1 shows the anatomy of a shark. Which of the following is the ventral part of the shark? Okay. So the ventral part is the pectoral fin, all right? You can see here, this is the dorsal, this is anterior, and this is posterior. So the answer is D. Question 2, a student was assigned to observe the structure of the root cell under a light microscope. What is the component of the cell that cannot be seen by the student? Now, under the light microscope, the student cannot see a chloroplast. The rest, the student can see. Question 3, which of the following shows the correct arrangement of phospholipid in a fluid mosaic model? Okay, so this is a phospholipid. Now, phospholipid is a bilayer at the plasma membrane. So the hydrophilic head, one will face at the extracellular fluid, and the other one will face towards the cytoplasm. And the hydrophobic tail of both the phospholipid layer will face each other. Okay, so B is the correct answer. Question 4. Diagram 2 shows simple osmometer to study the movement of substances across whisking tubing. The whisking tubing is filled with 30% sucrose solution. So the whisking tubing is filled with 30% sucrose solution. So that means the solution outside the whisking tubing is the same as the solution inside the whisking tubing. So both the solution outside and inside are isotonic. So that means the initial level of the sucrose solution remains the same because water diffuses in and out of the whisking tubing by osmosis at the same rate. Yeah. So the initial level will not change. Okay, question 5. Which of the following protein forms the bone? Now the protein that forms the bone is collagen, C. Question 6. Which of the following involve an anabolism reaction? Anabolism reaction is a reaction that builds up a complex molecule from simple molecule, while catabolism is the breakdown of complex molecule, into simple molecule. So for ANA, so the answer is C. 7. What causes the activity of an enzyme to be inhibited when there's an increase of temperature above the optimum? Okay, so when it's above the optimum, the enzyme will be denatured. That's the first thing. That means the chemical bond within the enzyme is broken. And the other thing is the active site of the enzyme has already changed and no longer can the substrate fit into the active site. So answer is C, 1 and 4. Which of the following statement explain why the number of chromosomes and the genetic composition in daughter cell produced by mitosis remain the same as in the parent cell? Now, for number of chromosomes to be the same, now this happened during sister chromatid separate during anaphase. So this is during mitosis. So during mitosis, the sister chromatid will separate towards and move towards the opposite pole. So this will make sure that the number of chromosomes in the daughter cells are the same as in the parent cell. Okay, so question 9. Diagram 3 show a diploid cell undergoing meiosis. If one of the chromosome pair does not separate during meiosis 1, how many chromosomes can be found in the gamete? Now, in total, there are 8 chromosomes. So if the chromosome divide equally, then there will be 4 in each gamete. Now, if one pair does not separate during meiosis 1, so maybe one pair will end up in one cell, while the other pair will have less one cell, so less one chromosome. So that means there will be 3 in one chromosome and 5 in the other cell. So the answer is B. Which of the following is involved in the production of carbon dioxide and water from glucose? Okay, so for the production of carbon dioxide from glucose is cellular respiration, so which occur in the mitochondria. Question 11. Now the diagram shows a condition experienced by a player during a football match. Which of the following statement is correct about the condition experienced by the football player? Now he is having muscle cramp. Now muscle cramp is due to the accumulation of lactic acid. So therefore fermentation of lactic acid has taken place in his muscle, which result in the accumulation of lactic acid, and this caused the muscle cramp. Question 12. Diagram show the tracheal system of a grasshopper. What is the function of structure X? Now, the tracheal system of an insect contains air sac, which sometimes help the insect to breathe faster. So the answer is A. It accelerates the delivery of respiratory gases to the trachea. Question 13. The following equation is about the process of protein digestion in the stomach. So what is enzyme Q, right? Enzyme Q is pepsin, yeah, in the stomach. So answer is C. Question 14. Diagram 6 show part of the human digestive system. What will happen if S is blocked? So S is the bile duct. So when the bile duct is blocked, then bile that is stored in the gallbladder cannot flow or channel down into the duodenum. So that will cause fats not being able to be emulsified, because bile salts are involved in the emulsification of fats. Okay, that means large molecule of fats is being broken down into tiny droplets for to increase the surface area for lipid digestion or lipid hydrolysis. Yeah, so fats will not be emulsified. Question 15, diagram 7 show the longitudinal section of the human heart. Which part here pumps oxygenated blood throughout the body? So C is the answer. C is the left ventricle. The left ventricle is the most muscular chamber of the heart, so it will pump blood throughout the whole body. Question 16. Question 16 is about immunization. What will happen if the baby misses the second dose of injection for hepatitis B? Okay, so hepatitis B, there are few injections here needed by a child. So if she misses the injection, then her level of immunity towards hepatitis B will be low and not enough. If this is the level of immunity, if you are injected once, probably you will reach this level only, and if you need a second dose or even a third dose to go beyond the level of immunity. So if it's just one dose, then it's insufficient, yeah. Okay, question 17. Diagram show a graph on the quantity of pathogen individual B according to the day count of infection. Okay, so which of the following statement is correct to explain the antibody level in the individual? Okay, so the individual, as you can see, his quantity of pathogen was high, and then after day 5, it decreases right up to the day 15. Now, the reason that his antibody level decreases could be, anti-pathogen decreases could be due to from day 3, about day 3 to day 7, the pathogen being attacked by the lymphocyte cell. So the lymphocyte cell attack the pathogen. That's why the number of pathogen decreases. Okay, answer is B. Question 18. Which of the following label coordinates homeostasis? Homeostasis is controlled by the hypothalamus. Okay, hypothalamus. So answer is D. 19. A heart disease patient took medicine to dilute the blood. So which of the following explain the effect of the medicine to the blood pressure in the body of the patient? Okay, so when he takes medicine to dilute his blood, that means his blood pressure is high. So after taking the medicine, his blood pressure will drop. Okay, so then the baroreceptor, it's not osmo, it's baroreceptor will be stimulated, and then the vasoconstriction will occur. Okay, so answer is C. Number 20. What happened in the nephron of a person that consumed a lot of salty food? A lot of salty food is BOP, blood osmotic pressure will increase. Okay, so that means more water needs to be reabsorbed into the loop of Henle and distal convoluted tubule because his BOP is high. So when more water is reabsorbed, then BOP can decrease, blood osmotic pressure can decrease back to normal, yeah. 21. Diagram show the structure of human joint, which part reduces friction and absorbs shock during movement. So the part that absorbs shock during movement is the cartilage. Okay. So A is synovial fluid, B is the bone, and C is the capsule. Yeah. Number 22. Diagram 11 show the posture changes that happen to Madam S. What is the cause of the change? Now, her bone has actually become porous and lighter due to a disease called osteoporosis, in which the bone mass has decreases. Yeah, so she's bent over. Question 23. Diagram show an ovarian cycle that occurs in human. So here they show a process X. Now, process X is ovulation. So the hormone involved is luteinizing hormone. Okay. D. Question 24. Diagram show the 3 growth zone at the root tip. So you have 3 growth zone here. Which of the following represent P, Q, and R? So P is the zone of differentiation, Q is the zone of cell elongation, and R is the zone of cell division, right? So the answer is B. 25. Diagram 14 show a cell component that abundantly found in the palisade mesophyll cell, which part is involved in the light-dependent reaction. Now, light-dependent reaction occur in the grana, in which the piranha will absorb the light energy during light-dependent reaction. Okay, A is stroma. Stroma is only for light-independent reaction. 26, a student practice green technology at home by planting vegetable plant using recycled plastic container and use compost fertilizer produced from kitchen waste. The student found that the plant are cupped, has distorted leaf, and part of it has become yellow. Which nutrient is deficient? All right, so the answer is B, calcium. If you lack calcium in the leaf, then the leaf will become distorted and cupped. 27. Diagram show the transport substances in the vascular tissue of plant. Which of the following structure substance is transported in tissue P and Q? So P is xylem, vessel, and Q is sieve tube. So xylem transport water, while sieve tube transport sucrose. Okay, 28. Diagram 16 show an experiment to study responses in plant. What is the type of response shown by the root of the plant? So the plant is moving towards the water. As you can see, the roots are heading towards the direction of the water. So this is hydrotropism. The hydrotropism is stronger than geotropism. Okay, 29. The phytohormone are abundantly used in the field of agriculture. The following statement is about the role of phytohormone X used by a farmer. So the farmer used it to induce dormancy in potato during storage for the purpose of export and to stimulate the growth of roots in stem cutting. So the answer here is D. Auxin is the hormone that can stimulate growth of roots in the stem cutting, as well as to induce dormancy. Yeah? 30. Diagram 17 show the longitudinal section of a flower. So which of the following is the number of seed formed in a fruit with 4 of the 8 pollen released by the anther germinate to form pollen tube? Okay, so if 4 pollen release germinate, so the answer is 4, yeah, because only 4 form the pollen tube. Okay. (31) Diagram 18 shows the root system in the mangrove tree. What is the function of structure M? Now, structure M is for gaseous exchange. These are pneumatophore, or what we call as breathing roots. These roots immerse out of the water so that it can exchange gases, because the mangrove trees are usually inundated by water. 32. The following statement refer to one of plant classification based on the habitat. The plant live in a habitat that is hot and arid, with minimum presence of water, okay, and very high temperature. What's the classification of the plant? Now, the plant that live in a hot and dry and arid area is 0.5. Okay, 33. Now, for 33 here, genus, species, S is species, genus, family, class, order. This is R is order. And then you have the kingdom. Okay, kingdom, phylum. Okay, so then you have class, order, family, and genus and species. Okay. Next, let's see the question. Which of the following is correct about PQRS? Okay, so here, the first one is P has the largest number of organisms. So P is the kingdom. Yes, correct. It has the largest number of organisms. R has larger number of species than P and Q. R has the larger than P and Q. That's not true. The lower the hierarchy, the lesser the number of species. Yeah. Okay. And next, we have organisms in S are able to interbreed and produce fertile offspring. Okay, so in S here is species. Species are able to interbreed, correct? They are able to interbreed and produce fertile offspring. And the last one, organisms in Q share more common characteristics than in R. Okay, so that is not true because among Q, they share more common characteristic. The lower it is, so R actually share more common characteristic than Q. And then among family, they share more common characteristic than order and so on. So so that is not correct. So the answer is B. 34. Diagram 20 show the interaction between two organisms. So S obtain protection, so it benefit, but T does not get any benefit, neither is it harmed by organism S. So here it is an interaction where one benefit, the other don't. So answer, okay, so it doesn't benefit, neither is it shown here in any way. No words are written here to show that it also harm. So it looks like more like a commensalism. Okay, here 35. What is the density of plant S? Okay, so the plant S here, you have to add up all the number of plant in all the quadrant. Okay, let's add it up. 10 plus 10 plus 11 plus 22 plus 13 plus 11 plus 6 plus 8. So it's 96. Then there are 8 quadrats. Okay, there are 8 quadrats. So you divide it by 8. So you get 12. So 12 plant X in 1 meter, 1 square meter. The answer is C. 35 is C. Diagram 21 show a pair of homologous chromosome. Which part is the locus that have homozygous dominant allele? Now, homozygous means both allele have the same dominant, whether it's dominant or recessive, they are the same. So C is the answer. Homo. B is heterozygous. A is homozygous recessive because they want homozygous dominant, yeah. And D is heterozygous. Okay, next, you have a cross-pollination between two pea plants that result in the ratio of 1:1. So what is the genotype of the parent? So the genotype of the parent will be, can try out all and see which one is the answer. Okay, so I'm gonna take the first one here. So you have F, F, and then this one's F, F. So when this one cross with this, we get F, F. So you got 2FF and 2F. So it's 1:1. Okay, so you will get 1:1 means one inflated pot shape and one constricted pot shape. So answer is A. Okay, 38. Diagram 23 show the variation of a trait among students of Form 5 grade. Which characteristic shows the variation? Now this is continuous variation. So you can see a histogram here. Okay, so continuous variation means here the answer is B, because you can measure the length of your feet. It can be graded. Whereas A, C, and D, they are discontinuous variation, yeah? Okay. 39, diagram shows the karyotype of individual who suffer from a type of genetic disease. So he has extra chromosome Y, okay? So it's XYY. Now, an extra chromosome is due to chromosomal mutation, and he's a male. Male is usually taller than, if he has XYY, he's usually taller but slow in acquiring speech. Okay, the last question. Diagram 25 shows a type of environmental pollution. Which of the following method is able to overcome the problem effectively? So the answer is bioremediation, in which you use microorganism to degrade the hydrocarbon into simpler molecule that does not pollute the environment. Phytoremediation is the use of plants to treat water that is polluted. Okay, so the answer here is bioremediation. Okay, so with that, I end today's session. I hope you have learned from this session. Till the next time I see you again. Bye.